A scholar, a Canadian scholar, talked of or carried out some studies about roles, and his name is Goffman. Born in the 1920s in Canada, and was carrying studies about roles, and spoke of roles as impression management, how you present yourself according to how you'd like people to perceive you. Or he was even identifying a boy riding a boat. How would people look at him? If it was a lady doing the same and a man in this case doing it, how would the world view? So he carried out studies, and many scholars have carried out studies about roles, but I'm interested in Goffman specifically. And so today our viewers would like to invite you to our show, Echoes of Truth. And today we want to discuss about gender roles. I'm your host, Winfred Kisoy. I take this opportunity to introduce my panelists, starting from my right side. Welcome.
My name is Joshua Musioka.
My name is Cherotich Naomi.
I'm Kavene Gloria.
And I am Samuel Moi.
Thank you for the introduction. So we move straight to our discussion today. It's all about gender roles. There is so much said about gender roles, and I would like to hear from Joshua. What comes to your mind when someone speaks about gender roles? Generally, what do you think about? Do you think?
Yeah. What I can say is gender roles. It's basically in a concept. It is how someone views you and your characteristics as per your gender, your sex, whether you're male or female. So it is the conceptualization of your characteristics, if you're male or either female, and how you behave, how that affects your behavior. Yes.
Does gender role have to do with anything specific someone is doing? Does it have to do with a lady should do this kind of a role, a man should do this kind of a role? What is Cherotich? What do you think about that?
Okay, to me, according to gender roles, how I understand it, it is basically some certain things a man or a woman should do. Okay, let me say, for example, a lady is supposed to do such certain role, or a lady is given certain attribute, a man is given certain attribute or certain characteristic. Yeah.
We've been raised up in Africa, and having grown up in families where boys and girls, what would you say about, from your point of from where you've been raised, how would gender roles be defined? Were there specific roles for a boy and a girl, or?
Okay, traditionally, let me say traditionally, men were supposed to do certain roles, were given certain roles. Women were supposed to do certain roles. Yeah, so you will find that some roles performed by men were not performed by ladies. Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing that up. Gloria, I would like to hear some of the roles you grew up knowing. This one is for men. This one man is for ladies. You would hear your mom tell you, or your dad telling you do this, and you're like, oh, this one is for a girl. Or your brother, maybe if your cousin who is a male.
Let's just start from the basics. Something we fight a lot in our house. It's kuosha vyombo. Like, we've all grown tukijua kuosha vyombo. It's just for the ladies. This is one thing tunakosananga sana kwa nyumba, because I have a small brother. And I feel like in this age and era, atufai kwa tunafikiria. Okay, kitambo, it was allowed because that's how walilelewa. But for us, I feel like we should have something different. So I try and tell my mom, si kama enzi za kitambo. Right now, kitambo ndio msichana angeosha nguo, angeosha vyombo, angeosha nyumba. But now we try and balance. I wash the house, you wash the clothes. Or nikiosha vyombo, unaosha nosha nyumba, something like that. So I feel like, yeah, kwa nyumba tu lazima kuna tule tu vitu zenye mnakosania because of hizo enzi za kitambo. Like certain roles are just for girls, certain roles are just for boys. Yeah.
Thank you for that. Hiyo kukosana part. I relate to the same. Moi, are you like, do you agree with what Kavene or Gloria is saying about those roles? What is your take, like traditionally and right now, about the roles?
Well, as she said, traditionally, these things used to happen. They were definite roles that men are supposed to do this, women are supposed to do this. But when you look at gender roles, they are dependent on a society. What is expected of you in that society. And with roles is that they change with culture and era. So something that was acceptable earlier might not be acceptable today. So I totally do agree that sometimes you find some people are doing some things. Like, for example, when men in a home, men are thought to be the providers, or women are thought to be the caregivers. So these are some things that we have grown knowing. We have maybe consciously or subconsciously we've been fed the information, like tumeambiwa tu, even not from our peers, but even from the media, from everywhere. So it becomes our norm, and sometimes we never realize that this what we are doing is being biased or something. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for your contribution about, especially on biasness and how we've grown up. Joshua, I would like to hear some of the stereotypes nowadays, or people hold to stereotypes about gender roles. What are some of the beliefs or stereotypes about gender roles?
I'd start with one which very recently we argued with my friends about. It was a question posed. By the event, I am married to the woman I love, and I am working. I'm in a stable job. She is in a stable job, but I earn more than she earns. And then COVID hits or some other thing, and then my job isha, and then she remains at work. So in this case, tables have been turned. She is the provider. How long do you think I would last in that relationship before she finds a man who is more the provider than I am? Or what is expected of me to do in that situation as a man? Nafaa kutoka nje nikatafute kazi, ama I now become a stay-at-home dad? Because like you said, the stereotype of women is they're supposed to stay at home, they're supposed to take care of the children, they're supposed to cook and all that, and the man is the one who provides. So niye anatoka. So am I supposed to take that role? What kind of situation am I in? Because it is between a rock and a hard place. So ilikuwa something we debated for a very long time. I do not think hadi kama tulipata a solution, because ilileta everyone has their own opinions depending on where umelelewa. So some of the stereotypes are women, in this case, they are termed to be as care providers. For example, baba yangu ameumia, so I will expect you as my wife to go and take care of him. They are termed as wao ndio wanafaa kupika. Mimi kama mwanaume sifai kuingia kwa kitchen. The men, we are termed as strong. Hatufai kulia, which is a lie. I will get into sometimes. So men are termed as strong. We are rock. We are like a rock. We are not supposed to fear. We are not supposed to show weakness in the face of danger. Yeah, so those are some of the stereotypes we have.
Yeah, thank you, Joshua, for bringing this up, especially this one for a woman providing.
Yeah.
Moi, I would like to hear your view about a woman who is a provider of the family, and for you as a man, you're staying at home, you have no job. How will the society take that?
Now, with the society at now, people think that the man is supposed to be the provider. But now we have to look at it as a progressive way. We have to look at it as the success of humanity. And because you are the man and you're married to your wife, of course, and maybe you have children, now you have to look at it as the benefit of all. If the man is the provider and if he has a better job or something, then let him be the provider. But if at any case the woman happens to have a better chance at providing, then let her be the provider. Why? Why am I saying this? Because you find sometimes, because you love each other, mnapendana, sindio? So you know very well that as long as there is love, nothing else can separate you. Then if she is able to provide, if she has a better way, we have to look at it as the person who has a better way to do it. then let them do it. If someone is better capable at providing, if someone has a better job, if someone can do something better, let them do it. It's not a battle. We are not fighting. We are trying to chase time, and we are trying to look at it as a progressive way for humanity. Yeah.
Hey, thank you for that. But ladies in the house may want to just differ with you. for this 21st century woman, with a man seated in the house, and you are here providing. What is your take about Gloria? What is your take about a woman providing in the 21st century?
Let's see. I feel like for me, let me speak for myself. I feel like the way I've been brought up, I know things can happen along the way. So you're not always sure like he'll be the provider like your husband. So I feel like, for example, if it so happens, for example, achishwe kazi and I'm the one now in charge, it doesn't mean role yangu kwa familia may change. I'm still the wife. I have not become the husband. So as much as I'll earn that much money, ikifika kwa nyumba, who am I? That is what we should remember. And that is where so many people wanakwasana. Mneka pesa mbele before everything else. So for me, nitatoka nje ndio nitaringia watu huku venye mimi ni mkubwa, I'm earning so much money. But when I come home, I submit to the one man that is there, my husband. So for me, it wouldn't be a problem. Lakini sikwe mazoea. Hata wewe. Not like, you know, pia, the men mtu anaweza taka kulelewa. Like, you don't see the effort. Like, kuna ile, it has happened. Okay, which is okay. It can also happen to me. But usikae kwa nyumba sasa. What are you doing about that situation? Isikwe sasa ati because now I'm earning too much money, let me just stay home. No, show me your effort. Your small effort at least. I won't even feel that bad ati. Hata nitasahau because unanifunga macho kiasi. But ile ukikaa tu ati nakuja kwa nyumba tena ni mimi nafanya kila kitu. I'll walk away. I'll just leave.
Hapo ametudanganya. Ati anafunga macho au uongo. It's a lie.
It's the effort. It's really the effort. It's really the effort. Yeah, so yeah, in my opinion.
Well, thank you for your opinion, and you talk about mazoea. I want to hear from Cherotich about someone who has iyo mazoea part. What is your take about how much can you just take, or yeah?
Mazoea, I will not take it sana. Okay. For the first time, I will take it. Nita accommodate. Unaona, umeachishwa kazi na ulikuwa una provide to the family. Okay, I will accommodate. But now what are you doing? Unaona, unajituma aje? Yeah.
I get you about so for the men here, there is the fire, kuna ile ufai kupita, you can just come but that's far. So there are boundaries and limits we put there when it comes to, I know we are speaking about a woman being a provider, providing for the family, which is actually one of the stereotypes. People don't believe in that a woman can be a provider. I would like to hear about how cultures, they have shaped us, the way they have shaped career choices. Are their careers believed to be for men? Are their careers believed to be for women? How has culture shaped our choices, even as careers, even choices of serving the community, even the different paths in life? How culture shapes us in terms of gender roles, and how do they shape you in your choices? Joshua, how has culture affected us in?
This to me hits more home than I think to anyone here. To me, I am a son in a family of 3. So the 2 behind me are ladies. One is so close to me, tumeachana na mwaka moja. Now, growing up, my sister and I lived a very competitive life. It used to be not that we were hatukuwa tunagonganishwa, but it was something natural to us. We used to compete in anything and everything. And sana si mnajua tu ile wazazi wanapenda ni ya shule. Kama si ya shule, hii ingine is just mere competition. So in school, my sister is very good in mathematics. She is extremely good in mathematics. Mimi ningekuja na 70 and then my sister comes with a 98. Now, growing up, my dad was like, hey, kijana, how can you allow your sister kukushinda? It used to hit me home once in a while, but I got used to it because nilikubali, by the way, sister yangu ni chopiwa maths. I had to accept it so that I think my parents also saw it in the long run. Fast forward 2016, 2017, she did her KCSE. She's now doing a course in quantity survey. Quantity survey is termed as a male-dominated field. So me, I'm doing human resource. Sorry, I finished human resource, which in most occasions, human resource is also seen as a female-dominated field. So fast forward to this now, we are in two totally different, fields, which each of us never thought we would be. She would never think atakuwa quantity surveyor. I would never think nitakuwa human resource. So I think along the way is where we learned that what we have been taught growing up in our culture traditionally does not necessarily have to play a key role in your decisions, career and otherwise. Mm-hmm. So I believe our culture has played a very big role in gender roles. For example, traditionally men were seen as providers. Well, they still are. I'm still of that opinion, which I know many will disagree with me, but I'm still of that opinion. We are seen as providers. So it would be very funny if my dad would come into the house and find my sister doing something that I am supposed to be. Sister yangu hawezi kuwa anagongelea msumari kwa ukuta and I'm there sitting. I think that my father would hata anaweza nisha mwanaume umekaa chini. So traditionally, but maybe my sister would say this from a point of perspective of what if my man is not there na mlango imekwama? How am I supposed to do? So these are some of the cultural things we have been imekuwa injected into us. Some are good, some are bad. There's a very thin line now that we are in a new era. And sometimes I normally do not blame our parents because from where they're coming from, they grew up with a traditional perspective of growing up. They knew a man has to wake up early in the morning, go and provide for your wife. That is why in majority of our parents and that we have housewives instead of working women, which is so true. Ni kidogo sana utapata mwanaume anakaa kwa nyumba. Eti mwanaume ende mjengo bana kuliko akae hapo.
Would like to ask Joshua a question. You said that hawezi afford kuona sister yako anagongelea msumari na wewe uko hapo. Now, let's say that your sister is better at that. Let's say that she's better at kugongelea misumari ama kudo those things. Will you let your ego come forward na uache like ujaribu kumblock like no, I'm the man. Acha nifanye hiyo. Maybe she's better at that.
Point of correction. I said my father would scold me for letting my sister kugongelea. I have no issue with it, but also as a man, I'm supposed to be a protector. Stereotypically. Well, why am I quoting this? We are supposed to be protectors. That is our role. So if my sister akijiumiza na nyundo akigonga, my dad will come to me. He will not come to her. He will come straight to me. Were you there? Yes, I was there. Why did you let her? It does not matter if she's good at it, but he will come straight to me. That is the traditional way we were brought up. Yeah.
Wow. I loved your story, Joshua, I must say, especially about the career choices. Yeah. Don't you feel in your practice as HR, you are doing ladies' work? How is your take about you being a HR practitioner where it's been viewed like it's a woman?
Honestly speaking, I stumbled upon HR. I did not know it was a female-dominated field until later, when I was, I think, 2 years into it. But to me, it really does not matter. They say what a man can do, a woman can do 2 times better.
Wow.
So maybe I'm coming into this field thinking I can do it 3 times better than them.
Wow. Yeah, so at this point, we would like to take our break. We'll be back shortly. So as you've heard from our discussion today on gender roles, there are we were brought up, traditionally we were brought up knowing that there are specific roles for a woman or for a man. But as we've grown up, as things are changing, we come to appreciate that roles can change. And what a man can do, a woman can do better. Actually, she can do it 3 times better. And that is what we are picking from our discussion today. And for ladies in the house, you're hearing that as much as we think the man is a provider, also a woman can be a provider. But also we are insisting or emphasizing on the fact that hawafai kuzoea sana. That since now the woman is providing, now I can stay in the house and sleep. So yeah, and as we continue, Joshua, you spoke about a man who cannot stay in the house. Unasema mwanaume afai kukaa kwa nyumba, area toke aende kwa mjengo. We seeing some man trending by the name of Mosh, who Kenyans came and appealed to Kenyans. Kachangi Wado is back to asking for more help. What is your take about such a man?
Well, I do not know what Mosh did with that money, because apparently he was raised around 1 million shillings from Jalas. Apparently that is what he claims. His show alone raised to him around 1 million shillings, excluding what other Kenyans sent to his money. Narrative is anasema alitumia kulipa madeni and whatnot and whatnot. Hiyo ni anajua na ni pesa yake, but initially, if we can all remember, which was a meme, Omosh used to say alikuwa anaamka asubuhi, anang'ara, afu anatoka anatembea. I mean, everyone knew that. So if as a man he knew he had a role to play of such, now I hear anataka tu pesa kidogo tu ya kununua camera and tripod and lights. That is what he claims, which begs me to answer, mbona hakununua hizo vitu eventually? So to me, I think ukweli Omosh ametuangusha kama wanaume, inaweza tudanganyane. He has failed terribly, because I believe opportunity knocks once in a lifetime. It knocked, he wasted it. Maybe Kenyans will be appealing to him, but I'm scared 10 of which I highly doubt it, but tutamwombea tu, sasa tutafanya aje.
Thank you for pointing out that amewaangusha kama wanaume. And yeah, we hope this will be a lesson to many men out here, that as a man you should always be after looking for something you could do. Cherotich, I have a question for you. Suppose you walk into a house today and you find a man washing a baby and washing utensils and cooking and serving the family. To be honest, what would you think? What will come up in your mind immediately?
Okay, and the wife is there. Let me ask that.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yes, the wife is there.
Okay. To me, hakuna shida. Let me start with that first. There's no problem. Okay, maybe the wife is sick, or maybe the wife anataka kupumzika or what. So the man akajitolea kama mwanaume afanye duties pia na yeye. Asikie vile wife wake anakuwa anasikia. Kitu kama hiyo. Yeah, okay. To me it haitamata sana.
Asante. Suppose it's your mother, your grandmother now. It's not you now walking into the house. Now it's your grandma or your mom walking from the village and coming to visit. Maybe it's the kids, they have come to visit, and she finds the son doing that. What do you want to think she will think?
Hapo, it will be an abomination.
Why?
Clan inaitwa.
Yeah, hata nitaitiwa mkutano. What is your role? Unaona? But now, okay, to me and my husband, let me use myself. To me and my husband, it will be vile tume agree. Okay, but when now our mom comes, I don't know what I will explain, because it will be a big question.
Yeah. The reason as to why I'm asking this, and now I move on to Gloria, is because of how we have been brought up. Do you think gender roles, we should hide about what really we believe as this generation? Should we hide it from our parents, or should our parents now know that times have changed, or how should we handle that?
I feel like so far our parents ndio wako na ish. Like they're somewhere in between. They don't know where to be. Wakue kwa zile enzi za kitambo ama wakuje na mtindo mpya. But for us, if we make a stand, you know, like kuna zile roles tu hatutasahau. Zile lazima zitakuja tu along the way. But along the way bado, there are new things that we have to adapt. So I feel like parents should also adapt to the new things, because even in our generations tutakuja hata sisi kuadapt something different, na tuwezi shinda tukifuata like the old things. We just change as the time changes. So to me I feel like mkuje generation Z tukujia sisi. Yeah, we're not going back. Yes.
Yeah, wow. So our parents, I get your point that our parents now should now also learn, or should also adapt to the new things and what is now current. I'm back to you, Moi, about a woman who is now. You had Gloria talk about a woman who has really made it, has money, providing for the family, but when they come to the house, they now become that wife. How do you think? I want to ask you a question about submission. What is the impact? How is gender role related to submission? Do you think a woman who is doing all that, who is now like providing for the family, who comes from work and she's the one who is feeding the family, do you think that woman will submit? Or
well, first of all, I think that submission is quoted in the Bible that women should be submissive to their husbands and husbands should love them. Okay, and also the Bible says that we are created equally. So what I think, for women, it's natural that you have to submit, because if you don't submit, then whatever is quoted in the Bible, whatever is said in the Bible, is not said to give us as in to limit us. It's said for our own benefit. So submitting by itself comes with its own benefits. But the reason as to why I champion the notion that you should be able to, whatever you're best at, do it. Because I don't think of it just like myself. I think of it also for the future. I think of it as a father. I'm not a father yet, but I think of it as a father. Because let's say that I have a son and a daughter. And then my son is very passionate about cooking. And my daughter is very passionate about sports. Now, will I tell my son, no, you are not supposed to be cooking? Because maybe we think that cooking is more to the girls. Mm-hmm. And you, my daughter, you're not supposed to be doing sports. You're not supposed to be playing football because football is better with boys. No. I'm looking at it as a way that when I tell you, you have to do what you're passionate about. Because when you're doing something that you're passionate about, it means that you'll be better at it. It doesn't matter how you start. You'll be better at it. And if by this passion, if you come to a point that maybe you have excelled in what you're doing, you have excelled in business, you have excelled in managing business, you have excelled in doing anything that you're doing. If it happens that you find a partner, my daughter, if you happen to find a partner who is lesser at what you're doing, do not go below. Say that since you're the man, you're supposed to be the one providing. No, you have to stay at your level best. That is why if he's not the provider, if he's not good at it, you have to submit. Of course, you're the wife of the house, you have to submit. But at the same time, do not limit yourself. Usiende chini sana. Kubali, yes, you're better at it, and do it. Bila chuki. Do it passionately because you love him, and also you submit.
Wow. It's good to hear your views. Of course, you being a man, you still want to believe that this woman should submit. But I want to believe for a woman to submit. I want to hear from the ladies here whether you think for a woman who is doing all those roles, which are providing for the family, do you think it will be easy for that woman to submit? Do you think it will affect their submission, Gloria? Or this woman will just be okay submitting? What do you think about that woman? Assume you are that woman. do you think you'll struggle a bit, or it's just come naturally that since I'm the woman, let me submit? Yeah.
That one is hard, but I feel like I don't know. It's okay. At some you will submit, but at some point it will become too much. You will get overwhelmed. You know. So itakuwa tricky, lakini I feel okay. Mimi sijui. Personally, mi nitasubmit just for a while, but after that najipa shughuli mimi.
Unajipa shughuli. Hii ni unajipa shughuli. Unajipa shughuli gani hiyo?
Si tutakaa tu chini tuongee. If you feel like I'm asking for too much, I gotta leave.
Leave to where?
I gotta go.
Leave to where?
Let me tell you, I always submit for that long. Like, imagine a whole lifetime submitting to one person na hakuna kitu anafanya. Like, si afadhali utoke tu basi uishi peke yako.
Gloria, we need to agree on something. We're not saying this person is not doing. Tuseme for example, kuna tu kitu anafanya, but
that is
so
okay.
what I get from you is that as long as they're not doing anything, you will,
If they're not doing anything,
you're gonna quit.
I'm out.
You are out.
Gonna leave.
Yeah, as long as they're showing the small effort, mi niko sawa with submission, because it's me, I'm a
So
woman,
the
yeah.
small effort
The
is
small
what
effort, yeah.
is what you'd like.
Nisikuwe na ati nikitoka kazi then mi ndio kupika, mi ndio kufanya kila kitu, and you've been at home. You get me? So do something at least.
Yes. Now I understand. What about you, Cherotit? What do you think about submission and
About submission, to let me say, okay, I'm working. I'm working and the guy is not working. Okay, so I will submit to him. Yes, it's marriage. It's a covenant. Sindio? So for my marriage to endelea, I will submit. Okay, but sasa kama hashow anything, it will, yani, I will not submit for that long sana. But if the person is promising, is supporting, I will continue submitting. But now, it will give me some pride. Yeah, it will give me some pride because a man is the head of the family. And the head of the family, anafaa kuwa, ana provide for the family, anafanya nini, all those things. So now, me providing for the family, I'll be like the head.
yeah.
So to some people, watakuwa wanasema, huyu hata ananiambia nini? I'm the one mwenye amekuwa akifanya everything. I'm buying this, I'm doing this to the kids. He's not doing anything. Yeah, so submission, I think it should be both ways. I submit, you submit.
Yeah. Submitting to one another or submitting to each other. I get what you guys are saying, that yes, it's allowed, and submission, it's a must that a woman will submit. But again, let also this man take up some responsibility. Let the man also be involved. Let them also show some, they are making some efforts to.
But again, I have a question. Sometimes, okay, we ladies, you find we submit to the man, sindio? But sir, the man is not like, okay, we submit, we be faithful, but sir, the man is like, okay, ako kind of, anakuonyesha madharau. Yani, anafanya vitu zenye, yani akupei, unampea lakini hakupei.
It's not two way. Yeah, it's not two way. Like you giving too much, you receiving too little.
Yeah.
Let's hear from men in the house. Yeah.
I believe now that won't be submission, that will be manipulation. He will be manipulating you. He'll be using your capabilities, what you have, just for the sake of it.
Yeah. So what about you, Joshua? Do you think?
I agree with Mo. It's manipulation. I believe personally, if a man really loves you, really loves you for who you are and what you do, they reciprocate whatever whatever you're doing, not necessarily because you are doing it due to submission, but because you love the person. Yeah, that is what I personally believe. Any manipulation. Anakutumia. Which actually sad to say, it happens in our present generation very, very much. It is very rampant. In campus, you would find a lady, they are dating with this guy. You would hear cases of nilienda kwake, nikamfulia, nikamwoshea socks, nikamfanyia sijui nini, and then 2 days later nikampata na msichana mwingine. Well, which is sad. This is so wrong on so many levels, because the first question I would ask that girl would be, alikuambia umfanyie hizo vitu in the first place? Hapana, unajua tu out of love. Yeah. Okay, first of all, this is so wrong on so many levels, because haufai kuoshea mwanaume vitu zake and what not kama haja kuoa. That is what I personally believe. A man is a bachelor, ni kujipanga bro. Uko na sufuria mbili unaweza shindwa kuziosha. But I believe that is not what is supposed to happen. It is so wrong on so many levels. It is both the woman's fault and the man's fault. But it's a sad thing that is happening in a society. We have to agree it is happening. Yeah, it is happening. It is true, it happens. Yeah. And the manipulation where people are just taking advantage. So it does happen. Anyway, that alone, you realize nowadays so many people now getting out of what we've learned traditionally. So many people are now doing jobs which were meant or which were thought this one is old. It cannot be done by a man. This one is old. It can't be done by a woman. Like you go to a matatu, you find a woman who is a conductor. You walk into a salon and the person making your hair, guess who? It's a man. And some men, even they're doing pedicures, they do massaging. So I sometimes I think to myself, suppose it is your Gloria, suppose it's your husband now, or it's someone, or it's your brother, someone you care about, and they're out here doing hairdos, massaging. How will you take it? Will you take it positive, negative?
Funny enough, the person who does my nails is a man. And I'm so confident, like, nikifika hapo nauliza ako wapi? Like, I feel like when it comes to all these roles, you find like when they change, they do better. Like, for me, I feel like a man does a better job when it comes to doing my nails and hair and stuff. So for me, sitaiona ikiwa ati kitu kubwa for some reason. Then when you find like the touts, unapata matatu zao ndio huja haraka sana. Zenye the female ndio tout. So it's funny and it's interesting. So mi siwezi ona kitu kubwa. I feel like you do you, as long as you get that money and you're at peace with yourself. It's okay. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think it hit home. It's totally different. Personally, I think at first itanishtua. I won't lie to you, itanishtua. I would be so perplexed. I think at some point I'll try to convince them, yo, bro, nini unafanya? Nini baya, bro? Nini
masculinity.
Because let us agree. We are men. We have ego, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
It is just a matter of taming it. So at some point, of course, ndamuuliza brother, kwani ni pesa kidogo na kusumbua? Tunazongea na vijana kutafutia pesa ufanye something more. So I think
that is a negative cultural effect.
What I'm saying is the reality. That will happen.
That is the reality. That is a result of misinformation. Because when we grow up, we are fed with this information that men are not supposed to be. It is considered to be a weakness. Like, kwa nini una waste your nguvu yako yote? Unaenda kufanya wanawake manicure. So endo ufanye, like, you consider to be masculine, you consider to be strong enough. Enda kwa mzengo. And even the women who are when you wanafanya kwa matatu, these women are considered tough. Kwa sababu kama madam anaingiza watu like venye anachapa hiyo kelele and everything, it's considered
okay, like more suppose it's your wife who is a driver. How
let it hit home properly.
If she's the driver, then okay, as I said earlier, I say that kama wewe uko passionate about it, and if you want to do it, then do it regardless of your gender, regardless of either you're male or female. So if she's doing it and she's doing it well enough, hadi kushinda wanaume, then let her do it.
So you have no issue with your
I have no issue at all.
Joshua has you
Personally, me, what I'm saying is, sijasema niko na issue nayo. I'm just saying when it hits home, it'll take some time before I just do it.
Okay.
Eventually, I will support them because that is what is expected of me, and I believe kama wewe ni rafiki yangu mse, itabidi tu nikusupport, but
so what we mean here is different people take it differently.
Yes.
And we must appreciate
Yeah, we
that.
must appreciate it.
It's not like a common ground for everybody.
Yes.
This is a way different
just like
people
our
are taking it
parents
differently.
are adjusting to this
True.
new thing, also us will have some adjusting to do.
Us being young people, sometimes we tend to believe in buying gifts for, maybe it's Valentine, maybe it is my birthday. What is your take about who should be buying gifts to who? Is it the man to buy the lady a gift? Is it the lady to be bought for? Who should buy gifts?
Just a funny story I had. I have a friend of mine who normally says if you let the lady in the relationship, assuming you're in a relationship, not yet married, akununulie for example, what they normally buy.
Flowers.
Wanunuanga socks. Even wanunuanga socks. It's a common phenomenon. They normally buy socks. Or let's say per event amekunulia something really nice, something, a watch maybe. And then after, maybe the relationship does not work out, or something happens along the way, some turbulence of sorts. The lady will keep on repeating, mimi nilimfanyia vitu mingi sana, mpaka nilimnunulia socks, mpaka hata sema socks, I bought for him things. So I think gifting is a very funny phenomenon, but I do not think kuna anyone specific who is supposed to do it, whether a man or a woman. It's your way of showing love. It's among the 5 ways of showing out your love. So,
Yes, Joshua, but it's like unaonea ladies, it's like wow, wakinunua watashinda
It is
wakisema
very true,
walinunua. Si hata men wakinunua. And let me hear from the ladies. Who should be buying the gifts, Charlotte?
Okay, about buying gifts, I think it should be both, 2 way. You buy me, I buy you. But sana ladies tunapendanga gifts, si ndio? Tunapenda gifts sana. So to me, I think nafaa kubaiwa sana.
So to you, ubaiwe is
Yes. Nibaiwe. And I will buy
once in a while.
Yeah, once in a while.
so you reciprocate, or
si eti unanibaia, you buy me and then I buy you.
oh,
Unaona?
yeah.
So I will buy once in a while. Nikifeel.
I feel like hers is manipulation.
We just spoke about
I feel like it's
manipulation.
manipulation because you're actually buying for me. Juu unaona amenibaia mingi, wacha nirudishe tu moja, sione nikaa pia mimi sina effort.
Ndio kuleta zingine.
Oh.
But what you've said about okay, ladies kusema mkiachana.
Ukweli.
Okay, ni ukweli, but nowadays si ukweli sana. Ni ukweli kidogo but si sana. Unaona, tukiachana, okay, to me tukiachana, I let go. I move on. Uta move on ama utabaki penye ulikuwa.
Just to add on it, I think we have so much conceptualized gifting to be a physical thing. We do not value the most basic of things like time.
Yeah.
We live in a society that is so busy. If someone takes time to be with you, hata kama amekaa kwa nyumba mke Netflix and chill, as much as iko na a lot of controversy, but I believe that is a gift in itself.
Yeah, true. Gloria, what is your view?
I feel like gifts, to me,
Uh-huh.
this is something important. I'd feel like you actually saw something and thought of me. And like gift should come with thoughtfulness. It's quite, I'm just gifting you just for the sake of it. Because to me, nitaona ikiwa special. Ukifanya sana, I'd feel like ni kama unajaribu kuni please or something. But the fact that you took your time, you saw, oh my God, this cup. Gloria would love this cup. Just the thoughtfulness. Haifai kuata kitu kubwa. It can be something small, but because it will mean so much to me,
Yeah.
I'd really appreciate it. So I feel like tutagiftiana tu along the way, but at some point pia kwangu mimi ukini gift something so fancy, now unaanza ku overthink, maybe now I should do more than that because you know, because now ume overdo it for me. It's the small things, but they're thoughtful.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Small things. I would like us to say something about leadership and power to do with both women and men. What do you think about a woman in power, men in power, leadership? What is your take about, suppose we have a woman as a president? You know what has happened in our judiciary right now? Yeah. What is your view more about power, leadership, and gender?
I think that is a beautiful thing. For some reason, first it's a win to women, because at some point back, women were not thought of to be able to take leadership roles. But at least now people have changed, the society has evolved, our cultural thinking, the way of thinking, and now we have women at those top levels. I think that is a beautiful thing. The fact that also women have shown the capability to hold on those positions and also do them perfectly and well. Even we're not trying to compare, but they do it at a level inaoneshana, like this person is qualified for it. So I think that's a beautiful thing.
Wow. Nice comments. Gloria, to you.
We've come a long way, honestly. And seeing a woman in power, it's empowering. Like to the small girls, to also us as youth. Like, for example, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, you'd find very few women in power. But in the New Testament, when Jesus came, you'd see like, for example, we had Mary Magdalene, time Jesus ali resurrect. You know, it was an abomination for a woman to be a witness in the Jewish courts. But when Jesus came, ali come with a new thing. So we saw a woman going to report. She was the first witness, the first woman witness to go and report that Jesus may resurrect. So I feel like it's good. It's a new change. It's like now tunatoka from the Old Testament, that is hizo enzi za kitambo, and we're now in the New Testament in this era. So it's a good thing. I love it, honestly. I really love it.
Well, I like also the biblical perspective about it. To you, Chero, teach comment about leadership and power, women.
Okay. To women, leadership and power, I think it's a good thing, of which women, I think they should be given some more roles, some more cheos, unaona, washikilie macheo. Yeah, so it's a good thing. Honestly, it's a good thing. Yeah, empowering the girl child, empowering women. It's a nice thing.
Yeah, to you, Joshua, we've seen so many women raised to power in both our government, in judiciary, in different, even in the corporate world, where we have CEOs as women, and in great positions we're seeing women, and also what has happened to Tanzania. Do you think men are ready for this, or they're still fight that a woman cannot lead us? Are men really ready for what a woman is now doing, the explorations that currently women are doing?
If we are putting this into African setting, I believe we have come from far. We have come from a very long way, and I believe, well, we still have a lot of adjusting to do as men, because like when we have the new judiciary head, who is a woman, when she rose to power, I think 2-3 days later or a week or so, there was the controversial 40 judges who were supposed to be sworn in. I think 36 or 34 were sworn in. The 6 remained, and there was a lot of backlash to her. She was criticized sana, partly because I believe she was a woman. If it was a man, there would be backlash, but not as heavy as it was. We will have to agree on that. But I think we have come a long way, and we still have a very long way to go. Normally, I tell my dad, sometimes when he does something, he asks me something about unataka kuwa msichana na kaje, about something not. I'd actually bring it home. I have 2 sisters. You have 2 daughters in your perspective. You have poured millions and millions of money into making sure they're well educated to face the world in a better way. How would you feel if your daughter would not rise to the potential you see she has? That has to hit home a lot harder when ukimwambia hivyo, it hits home than starting to argue with them. I believe this is supposed to be more of a conversation than an argument or a confrontation or a competition. It is not. It is more of a discussion of us choosing to accept. This space ni kubwa bana. We can share it, both of us, and each has an equal role to play in whatever field it is.
Yeah. In conclusion, yes, Gloria, in conclusion.
Just to add to what she said, she said we should be given like more chances. We're not asking just because I'm a woman, you give me that spot. I want you to recognize education yangu, what I worked so hard for. Don't just give it to me because I'm a woman. Recognize my hard work. Same way Ali work hard is the same way I did. And maybe I did it much better. So tusikuje tu hapa tuseme ati now she's a woman. No, recognize her work. The hard work. So that is what we're asking.
Dear viewers, we want to bring this to a close. It's been interesting. In summary, what we conclude is that it's a free space. Everyone has their space to exist and to do that which they want to do. Whether you are a man, you are a woman, as long as you have it, go. And as long as you have what it takes, go for it and explore and shine. And above it all, glorify God in it. Thank you.